Okay, I think it's working. Give me one moment to double check. I think we're working. That's always good. Good morning. Um, it's Monday, January 11th. I almost forgot the date for a moment. Um, yes, I'm a bit earlier than usual. That's because I have an appointment this morning and I want to make sure that I'm able to chat with all of you before that. So let's do this. It is ordinary time. It's the first week of ordinary time. We're back to ordinary time after because I didn't decorate much and I like to keep it up as much as I can. So that's what I'm doing. Um, Good morning, Stephanie. This week's kind of crazy. There's not really a whole lot of feast days though this week. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's like 3 a.m., Dimitri. It's almost 9 a.m. for me. So that's why I picked this time in the morning. And yeah, sorry, it's 3 a.m. Didn't mean to wake anybody. Anyway, this week for feast days, we're in ordinary time. So we have Wednesday is Saint Hilary of Poitiers, pretty awesome, a French bishop. A lot of people don't know about him. They associate the name Hilary with women, but Hilary was a guy. Saint Hilary of Poitiers was a bishop, and he's got a kind of cool story if you want to check it out. And then we get into second Sunday of ordinary time this coming weekend already. And Saint Anthony of the Desert's feast day is also on Sunday, but preceded by the Sunday. What else was I good about all of that? We're in ordinary time. Yeah, we're in ordinary time already. Like my poor brain is like trying to process all of these things because like it's been such like a weird start to this year even already. But this is where we are. I did not yet get my newsletter out because I'm a bad human. I'm probably going to do a January, February combined newsletter, probably this week or next week. Life happens and things got a bit crazy this last week with all of the craziness that was going on in my world. Our pastor was in quarantine again and ill. And so it was just like a crazy week of crazy things. And I didn't really take a whole lot of time to myself. So I never got my newsletter done. So yeah, it'll probably be later this week or next week, depending on how crazy this week ends up being. Yeah, definitely going to be a crazy week. I can tell you that just off the bat right now. I've got a lot on my calendar, a lot of things that are pretty much set in there. So that's what I'm doing. Oh yeah, it was St. Joseph the Apostle of Sri Lanka. That's awesome. Yeah, on Sunday we celebrated the baptism of the Lord at our church. Anyway, this morning I've got blueberry tea with my pretty mug that I know these aren't blueberries that are on the mug, but like I like to pretend they are because like they're just pretty. And I have blueberry tea in here, so it all works out. Looking at my nails, some of them are peeling pretty bad. I actually want to redo my nails to sometime today. That's on my list of made it to it. We'll see, because I know like my thumbnail is really not so good. It's starting to peel off because I got too close to my cuticle apparently. Anyway, like I have so much, my brain is all over the place. Okay, so there's been a lot going on in the world in this last week, especially in the United States. There's been a lot of craziness, and I am again forever grateful that I live in the middle of nowhere, Montana, because there's so much stuff going on in DC right now. And I just want to mention that like there's nothing we can do to change it really from where we are, but we can pray, and prayer does help things. So when you feel overwhelmed by what's going on in the world, especially things that have happened this week in the US, it's just been kind of crazy. So that's just like, yeah, with all the craziness, it's just hard to really remember that prayer changes things and prayer is important, even when it seems like the world's going crazy, that there's all sorts of different things going on. Like, it's just been a weird week. I just don't understand why it gets so crazy sometimes. But at the same time, this is we're almost on 2 years of this pandemic. We're dealing with lots of different people, lots of different emotions are all over the place for everybody. So it's just been a kind of a crazy start to this year. So I just want to remind you all to pray, because that's all we really can do in our where we are. Like, we're not, like, at least I'm not a person that can just go up and like be like, hey, let's change all the rules. I'm just me, and all I can do is pray. And I know that prayer has an effect, even if I don't see that effect. Just want to say, like, just don't forget to pray. Don't forget that the Lord's waiting for you. He loves you, and he wants to comfort your heart wherever you are. So it's just, yeah, just remembering that we can't always change the big things in the world, but we can change the little things in our own lives, and we can pray, and prayer does something. So that was my spiel on this week in this country. It's been kind of a rough one. We've had a bunch of more of the virus stuff happening out where I am too. Yeah, lots of craziness. And I think Dominic is going to come visit us. My kitten is like sitting right over here now. He's not really much of a kitten anymore, is he? I mean, look how big this monster is. Oops. He's only 7.5 months old, and he's already over 8 pounds, and he's adorable. I love him a lot. But yes, he's going to try to eat my headphones, I'm sure. Anyway, Dominic, he likes to come visit when I'm on the video chats. He thinks it's all about him. And even though it's not, he's pretty convinced it is. So if he comes to visit a few more times, that's just fine, as long as he's not eating my planner, which is another of his hobbies, is to eat all pieces of paper everywhere. He's still very much a kitten, even though he's getting quite big. Love the little munchkin. Yeah, it's been a week. It just feels like, can you not eat my headphones? I'm talking to people. Do you need to like have... Sorry, Dominic demands attention sometimes because he's cute and a kitten, and very much still a kitten. So maybe he'll go run around now and make some more noise with his jingle bell. It's kind of cold here this week, but we had a weird kind of a winter here in Montana. We had a snowstorm pretty early in, was it October or September? Like October, I think. And then we had another snowstorm. Then a couple weeks ago, there was some snow. And now it's like, this morning it was like 20 degrees, but we're supposed to get up to almost 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is kind of crazy for January. So it's kind of a weird winter, but everyone was predicting this super heavy winter because we had a super nice summer. So who knows what's going on with the winter. But we usually get our worst at the end of January into February and March. So it's still coming, I'm sure. But we've been like, it's kind of crazy. One of my friends was showing pictures of snow in Texas yesterday. And I'm like, they have more snow in Texas than we do in Montana right now. I've got about a dusting. That's about it, which is just fine. It was pretty cold yesterday, though. I did have to scrape my vehicle windows before I could go to church. So that was great fun. One of my least favorite things to do is scrape windows and shovel snow. So yeah, it's been a year. I just wanted you all to know that, like, I'm with you. Like, I've been praying for all of you that this is just gonna be a year of things. Like, just looking at my prayer board, it's just up over there, and like all these people who've asked me to pray for them, and it's like they let me know that they want me to pray for them, so I do, and it's like that changes things. Like, it's just amazing me today, just thinking about how much prayer does make a difference, and how even though I haven't met most of the people on my prayer board in person, they're great people, and I'm praying for them because they've asked me to. Oh my goodness. Dominic, you're not supposed to be up there. Dominic. Oh my gosh, the kitten's getting into everything. He is very much a kitten, like I said. He's trying to figure out if he can eat things that are not edible. Hey, Dominic, no. One moment. Let me go tell him that this is not going to be how we do things today. Hey. Okay. All he needed was for me to get up, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Like, funny kitty. He really thinks that he's in charge of things, so it's pretty funny. He does listen pretty well, though, which I'm very grateful for. He does know the word no, even though he doesn't act like it all the time. Yes. Do I wear a scapular? Yes. This is a brown scapular, but I have, so it's a brown scapular, but I have the Marianne one. And this is the one from Scapulars.com. I will find a link for it afterwards. So I put metal in it. It has a little pouch on each of the ends. And I have this one with white strings. And I also have another that has brown strings. So I typically wear the white one, though. They're a little bit more pricey for scapulars. Yeah, this is my brown one. Yes, I wear the brown scapular. I have since I was invested in the brown scapular when I was in 3rd grade at my first communion. So I've pretty much worn one since then. There's been years where they've broken off or I have been unable to find a replacement for them. That's one of the reasons I went to Scapulars.com this last time, because I know they're pricier, but I've been told that they have a really great lifetime guarantee for if it's through normal wear and tear. And you know those cheap scapulars for like $1 that you can find at some places? I wear through those in a couple months. Like if they last a month, it's amazing. So yes, I do wear my scapular. You usually will see at least a string of something. Sometimes I tuck it out of the way. But yes, I usually have the scapular. In the pockets in mine, I have a miraculous medal that was blessed at the National Shrine of the Miraculous Medal in Perryville, Missouri, maybe? Don't quote me on where that is from, but I have a little medal in there. I don't have a medal in the back pocket on my scapular, which is it's really pretty. It's Our Lady of Mount Carmel in blue. I just don't have anything in that pocket yet. And I usually have my necklace on with the crucifix, but I didn't put it on yet this morning because it's kind of an early morning. Yeah, I wear mine pretty much all the time. It comes off when I shower because I don't want to get it wet. And I don't swim with it. I don't swim very often, but when I lived somewhere where it was easier, that was one of the things that I didn't wear it when I was swimming or doing something like that. How do you dispose of the scapulars that I have broken? I currently have them all in a sandwich bag. At some point, I'll probably bury them or burn them or something, because they are sacramentals, but I haven't gotten that far yet. Yep. So that's what I kind of just have a big pile of broken scapulars. Yep. Okay, Stephanie has a question there. Wait, okay. Are you supposed to keep it on when you are exercising, or can you take them off from English Catholic? You can. It's up to you. I keep mine on just because I don't do a whole lot of like actual real exercise that's not, walking around during my day or something like that. If you're doing like some heavy duty exercise, that's up to you. Yeah, it's really up to you how you wear it. It's a devotional and it's a sacramental. It's nothing that's required. It's just something that I've chosen to do since it was something that was very common when I was a kid, that everybody had their scapular. So it just grew as a habit. And so I feel very strange when I don't have one. So this one here that I have, there was this past year I couldn't find a replacement. Like I was trying so hard to get something local, and then like the plague and the world. So I'm very happy I have mine now. Okay, back to Stephanie's question. How can one overcome temptation? I have been struggling a lot with it and giving in and sadly not caring. I want to be a good Catholic, but life hits life sucks sometimes, and temptation is part of life. That's really just the one thing to remember is we're human. Even the Lord was tempted in the desert, and temptation doesn't mean it's a bad thing, and giving into temptation isn't always terrible. Yes, it's not good, but it's not as bad as it could be, because for some people, their temptations are habits that they've gotten into, and it's hard to break habits. So when it's a habit that's been ingrained in something that just happens, it's very, very difficult to, what is the word? I'm trying to think of it's very difficult to choose to do something when your body is ingrained and you have such this habitual instinct to do one other thing. It's kind of like some addictions. It's not really, pardon me, like my nose this morning has kind of got the sniffles apparently. So like some addictions are so ingrained in us. There's so much of a habit that it's something you do without thinking. So you're not making that conscious choice to fall to that temptation or to, it's really difficult, but sometimes it's not always as much of a sin as we think things are. Some sins become very habitual and very much like an addiction, and that needs to be worked through in usually in some sort of, it's very helpful to have therapy sometimes, talk therapy even, or any of that stuff. So it's just, don't feel too bad about falling into temptation. Yes, it sucks. Yes, it's not necessarily good, but it's something that's part of the human condition. We all have temptations, and sometimes those temptations are very ingrained and very habitual, and it's not us making the conscious choice to do those things. It's more of an addiction, if that makes sense. And yes, those need to be worked through, but it's something different than just saying it's a down. Yeah, it's just it's very different. It's something that would be helpful to talk to with a priest if you have a normal confessor or a spiritual director, or just really work through some of those why things happen the way they do, because it's not always with full knowledge and full consent. Because those are like especially if we're talking about mortal sin, they are full knowledge, full consent, and the other one. I'm blanking on the 3 conditions of mortal sin right now. But the full consent one doesn't always apply when it's an ingrained habit that has become an addiction. So that's just on that one. Yeah. So it does happen. Life happens, especially this year. We've all got some habits that are not necessarily the best habits that we've gotten into, it seems. Okay. Oh, very serious question from Demetra. What are my favorite teas? I have a lot. Blueberry black and lemon black are 2 ones that are my basic ones. I also like Irish breakfast, especially the one from Adagio Teas. And then they have a maple cream oolong that tastes like maple syrup. Amazing. There's also a peach oolong I really like. And then I have like just a bunch of Darjeeling teas. I have a lot. I have been in the process of taking care of writing a blog post on the teas that I love, but I haven't gotten it done yet. Again, life has been happening. That one will probably happen in February, hopefully. We will see. Just flipping ahead, looking at my calendar. This week's crazy. Next week is not quite as crazy, but kind of. The week after is ridiculous. So January is kind of crazy for me at this point. So we will see when I get that up. Bad habit is not sleeping like right now. It happens. Insomnia is a real thing. Trust me. I get it. It's not always something that you can just power through when it's insomnia and like, oh, I should be sleeping, but my brain is going everywhere. Good luck with that. Okay. See if there was anything else I wanted to close up with before I run off, because I do have an appointment this morning, which is why we are early, because I did not think when I scheduled things. Mea culpa. It happens. It does happen. Why can I not find what I was looking for in my notes? My notes are all over the place today. My poor notebook has like a ton of sticky notes, like my journal, or not my journal, my planner pages. Let's see if I can show this real quick without giving away too much. Just going to be a real quick flip ups because some of these things have lots of things on. So like I have sticky notes in my planner, kind of like that. Sorry, definitely real quick, but they're all very personalized sticky notes. Those are my future weeks are just in a sticky notes right now, and kind of scary because I have a lot of sticky notes in there. So anyway, Happy New Year to you all. I hope you have a good week. I hope it's like a good week of ordinary time for everybody and that you really just enjoy the week and remember that the Lord is with you, even when it doesn't feel like it, even when it feels like the world is falling apart. You are still loved. Yeah. And that's what I've got for this week. May God bless you all abundantly. God bless.